Hello, and welcome back to another draft player analysis video. Today, I will be doing Carson Wentz. I have to throw him in the starting lineup real quick, just so I can use the guy I just created like a minute ago. Just so I have some instant gratification. No, but, Carson Wentz, 6'5", 237 pounds. Went to North Dakota State University for 4 years. All right, so let's just start with his combine numbers. 40-yard dash, ran a 4.77. 4.77 is one of the faster times, especially for a guy who's 6'5". That's really impressive. And before I really get into it, I will say I really like Carson Wentz. I think I have a few issues with him that can really be fixed quick the day he steps into the NFL. There's only one that I truly think could linger with him for a little while as he learns the ins and outs of the game. As of right now, before anything else, before maybe his pro day and whatnot, I currently have him ranked as my number 2 quarterback behind Jared Goff, in front of Paxton Lynch, Connor Cook, and Dak Prescott. Those are my top 5. Expect videos for them in the near future. Also expect Christian Hackenberg. Those are the quarterbacks that I will be doing. So, vertical jump, 30.5 inches. Broad jump, 118 inches. So however many feet that is. And his 3-cone was 6.86, which I thought was pretty good. 6.86 on a 3-cone is pretty good. I'll compare him and Jared Goff throughout the video. So overall, he had a more athletic combine. You know, he was much more athletic throughout it. You know, he had better numbers and whatnot. I just think Goff had better throwing and whatnot. I think Goff threw a bit better. So, that's just my thoughts on at least the combine. All right, career stats. Although he was a 4-year player, he only started 1 season, I believe. He started his senior year. His junior year, I believe he played in 11 games. I'm pretty sure he actually started that year, now that I think about it after reading. I actually do think he started that season. So, he, now the reason I ran like that instead of sliding is that's how Carson Wentz runs, by the way. So before, you know, people say that Carson Wentz, or quarterbacks in general, wouldn't do that, that's how Carson Wentz runs. You know, he's very competitive when he runs. When I get to my cons, I'll talk about this a little more. All right, so he started 48 games, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, career, 5,100 passing yards, 45 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. So that's roughly about a 9-to-1 ratio. For every 9 touchdowns he threw 1 interception. And all of them came in his senior year. He threw 0 interceptions his junior season and every game before that. I think that's incredibly impressive. But again, I'll get to why I'm not getting too high on that. QB rating of 153.9. So, I mean, that kind of just relates directly to his touchdown-interception ratio. 13 total rushing touchdowns. 9 fumbles. 4 of them were lost. Accolades. NCAA Division I Championship Game MVP 2 years in a row. So he was the championship game for words are hard. He was the championship game MVP for a back-to-back championship team at North Dakota State University in 2015 and 2016. And he was a two-time academic All-American in 2014 and 2015. Okay. Pros. Played in a pro-style offense, meaning he took, dropbacks from under center at some point. He took plays from shotgun. He did a lot of things that you would see in a pro offense. Quick release. I think he has a really quick release, as does Jared Goff. I think both of them are really quick throwers, as dumb as that may have sounded as I was saying it, because it sounded dumb. But has a really quick release, and which helps him just get the ball to where it needs to be quicker. Stands in the pocket. When the pressure comes, while he's making his reads, he won't get flustered and all those words that I can use to describe it. He's going to stay in there, and he's going to stay in the pocket for as long as he can until it collapses and make the play from within the pocket. My next pro is when the pocket does collapse, he can escape and make really good plays outside the pocket. He is an extremely athletic guy and a really good runner, which surprises me because I don't like this comparison because Cam Newton is one of a kind, but he is Cam Newton-esque. Cam Newton is, this guy's 6'5", almost 6'6", runs a 4.5 40 almost. I think he ran like a 4.5 4.6. That's incredible. He's a drop back passer who can run when he needs to. That's why I think Cam Newton's a rare breed. I think if Wentz develops, he can be in that same school. I think, if I had to classify 3 players in that, kind of deal, it would be Newton, Luck, and Wentz. Those guys are all along the same lines where they'll sit in the pocket and they'll try and make a play from within the pocket. But once shit starts to go down inside the pocket, they're going to drop out and they're going to make the play outside the pocket. Whether it be throwing on the run, which he does okay. When he throws on the run, it's a little hit and miss. It could be pretty good, and then it could be, a floater. It could be a bad pass. All the things that you can use to describe it. Has a really good deep ball. His deep ball is good, although a little inconsistent. I'll touch on that a little bit more when I get to my cons. But when his deep ball is on target and doing what it needs to do, it's accurate and it gets to where it needs to be. And my last pro is that he is a big, tough guy. He's 6'5", and he uses all of it to make plays. And when he's in the pocket, whether it be, sorry, I lost my train of thought because I had to make sure my mic was recording and not have another issue with my video like I did yesterday. But I watched the Montana game, and I watched one other game. I can't remember which one it was. It was like a week ago. But Montana game. He's in the pocket. Pocket collapses, tries to get out. Can't. It's a sack. It's a dead play at this point. Most other quarterbacks would just, drop, be dead. They're done. Play's over. Who cares? I'm going down. Why fight it? Carson Wentz stays up. Defensive end jumps on his back and he stands up upright with a defensive end on his back. He had another man on his back, and he stood up straight. Like he wasn't there for a second until going down from a hit from behind or to the legs. That's very impressive. I think that's extremely impressive. I think there's a lot of good things about Carson Wentz. But, you know, obviously the pros outweigh the cons with him. He's very good. But my cons are his level of competition. That's the big one. Can he do what he's been doing at North Dakota State if he was, say, in the SEC? Could he do what he does to a team like Alabama, to a Georgia, to, even if he was a Big Ten player, to an Ohio State, I almost said Penn State, to a Michigan State, to a Michigan? Could he do the same thing? I think he could, but it's the fact of if he was in those conferences, would he be as successful? And that's the question you have to ask, because the level of competition between D1 and, you know, like, whatever the NCAA, I think it's D3 or something. I thought it was D1. I guess I was wrong. If I'm not, then I just read the article wrong. But, you know, D2, D1, whatever. I'm just going to say D2 or D1 because that's what it's ranked as, I guess. Actually, no, screw it. I'm just going to go D2. I'm going to say D2 anymore. So, the level of competition between, say, a team, even in, like, one of the lesser conferences, even in the AAC, the All-American Conference, that has Houston and all those other teams, you know, Houston was really good this year. A lot of people don't really think that they were. Houston was a really good team. They were undefeated for a while, and I think they only lost 1 or 2 games. So even in one of the lesser conferences, there is a high level of competition. So can he do what he's done in a major collegiate school and in the NFL? And just, these are a little bit more, you know, kind of, I guess, like minor things that can be fixed quickly. Number one, he doesn't slide when he runs. He doesn't slide when he runs. He always stays upright while he runs. Even when, you know, he's about to get hit. I was watching, again, the Montana game, because that's the most recent one I watched. I watched his Montana game. He tried to run through a linebacker, or, like, around him, when the linebacker had him. You know, backers running straight at him, and he just decided, I'm just going around this guy, or I'm going through him. And I think that, obviously, in the NFL, that's gonna end poorly. When you have men like J.J. Watt, Luke Kuechly, if he ends up playing in the NFC East, Sean Lee, I mean, God, there's gotta be more people that I just can't think of. Ryan Kerrigan, Perry Riley, those two from Washington. The Giants, if he stays, Jason Pierre-Paul, Robert Ayers. These guys are big and athletic. I don't think he should. He has to learn how to make those. He has to learn how to slide. And my last con is he needs to be more consistent on his deep throws. He has a really good deep ball. It's just the fact that he's not consistent with it. Excuse me. Just he needs to be more consistent on the deep ball. That's all I'm really going to say about it. It just needs to be more accurate. If he throws 5 of them in a game, 2 of them are going to look really pretty and be performed really well. it's really good. It's a great deep ball. It's just he needs to be more consistent. And my NFL comparison may surprise some people, but I would say Andrew Luck. He is a Division II version of Andy Luck. He is the best player in college football in his division, which was D2. That's how I'm just going to say it. He was the best player by far, the best quarterback by far, I'll actually say. You know, he's athletic, he's big, he's smart. You know, it's just like, you know, Andrew Luck is one of a kind. He's, you know, the kid's extremely smart. The kid went to Stanford and majored in architecture. That's really impressive. But I mean, Carson Wentz is also really smart. I mean, 2-time academic All-American. He left North Dakota State with a 4.0 average, which is like a perfect average. Which, again, impresses me greatly. And I think, you know, I guess maybe Andrew Luck light. You know, Andy Luck's a one-of-a-kind. Carson Wentz is going to be cut from a new breed of quarterback. A breed of quarterback that's going to be big and athletic and make plays with their arms and their legs. You already see it now with Cam Newton and Andrew Luck. They're guys who can make plays with their legs and make plays with their arm. And my draft projection is in the 2 to 22 range of the first round. Up first, Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to go with the guy who's more pro-ready day one, which I believe, personally, is Jared Goff. I think they're going to go Goff, but again, if they want to go with a guy who's going to develop into an overall better pro, they'll go Wentz. Wentz has everything that you would want in a franchise quarterback. You know, he's big, athletic. I already said all of this stuff. Next is Dallas. Now, Dallas has said they don't plan on drafting a quarterback at number 4. But, I mean, they could. Because I don't think Jerry Jones is smart. I think Jerry Jones is one of the most incompetent owners in the NFL. I think he's not very smart. He knows how to spend his money. But when it comes to drafting and whatnot, he doesn't seem to make good decisions. Except for the Zach Martin decision. My God, that was an amazing decision. I mean, taking Zach Martin over Johnny Manziel, who I know he loves. For some reason, he absolutely loves Johnny Manziel. But, I don't know, maybe Jerry Jones will start to prove me wrong on why I think he's dumb and just not a smart owner when it comes to drafting. Because he's starting to do it with that Zach Martin pick over a guy like Johnny Manziel, who I know they really liked him. Or at least Jerry Jones did. Next is San Francisco. He would actually fit in Chip Kelly's offense. He's athletic and big. It's just, I truly think that the Niners have more glaring needs. They need help on defense currently. They still need some skill position guys because Anquan Bolden can't play forever, and they need someone across from Torrey Smith, in my mind. Next is Chicago. If Chicago, again, they have bigger needs, but if they want a guy who's going to take over for Jay Cutler in 2 years, Carson Wentz is that guy. As Cutler gets up there in age, I think he's entering his 11th season. As he's getting older, they could be grooming Carson Wentz to be the replacement. So I think Chicago is actually a realistic choice. Philadelphia, new head coach, new offense, new everything. Doug Pederson, however it's pronounced, wants a guy that's going to be a drop-back passer. He did great things with Alex Smith. Alex Smith had one of his best career seasons last year. I believe. I think so. You know, had a really good season, played extremely well in the playoffs, you know, in that first game. The Patriots game, I don't think you can 100% blame on them. That's more of the coaching staff's clock management. I guess you actually have to blame that on him now that I talk about it out loud. But you can also blame it on the defense for not stepping up. So, but he did really good things with Alex Smith, who's the same type of guy, who's a drop-back passer, who's athletic, and has the skills to do good things in an offense, like what Doug Peterson ran in Kansas City. Ooh, are they gonna do it? Nope, they're out of time. All right, I still have actually a little bit to talk about, so you guys can sit here and stare at the screen for a bit. I truly think that Philadelphia with Doug Peterson is a landing spot. They can sit him behind Bradford for 2 years and let him develop. And then when Bradford's new extension is up, just be done with him. Let him walk. Let him do some stuff in free agency. And let Carson Wentz take the reins and be really good. I have 3 teams left, so stick with me for like another 2-3 minutes. The LA Rams, obviously. If he were to drop to the Rams, I'd be extremely surprised that he actually fell to 15, I believe it is. Oh, excuse me. But obviously, the Rams need a quarterback. But I think they're looking more for a guy who can start day one. And I don't think Wentz can do that. I think he still needs to develop more. And I don't think a trial by fire method is going to work with him, where they're just going to throw him in and let him learn the ins and outs of the game from day one. That'd be dumb. Got 2 more teams. The Jets, if he was to fall as far to 20 as the Jets could obviously take a shot on him, let him groom him behind Ryan Fitzpatrick for, I don't know, like a year or 2. You know, he's going to step in and be the starter if he sits behind Fitzpatrick once however long he signs a contract for. When he's done, Carson Wentz can step in and do really good things. And last, Houston. If he was to drop to Houston, they'd snatch him in a heartbeat. Bill O'Brien does great things with quarterbacks. I mean, he did some pretty solid stuff with their rotation of Ryan Mallett, T.J. Yates, and Brian Hoyer. You know, I just hit myself with my mic because I was messing around with the stand. But he did good things with Brian Hoyer. It's just that it all kind of fell apart and collapsed at the end of the season in the playoff game against a really good defense. So, I think with the number 13 pick, the Philadelphia Eagles will select Carson Wentz. I think that even though they signed Bradford to a long contract, they're going to prioritize a guy that can step in and be a better version of him. A big athletic guy who can do great things in and out of the pocket. And I think after Bradford's extension/contract is done, there is a good bet that he will walk, that the Philadelphia Eagles won't bring him back. And that's pretty much all else I have to say. That's the end of this one. Stay tuned tomorrow for Paxton Lynch, which should be interesting. I haven't watched much on Paxton Lynch yet. He's kind of unknown to me. I know he's like 6'7", and he's pretty athletic. So, that should be interesting. I'm actually really excited to watch some film on him. Do a little bit of a scouting report, I guess. But, that's pretty much it. That's all I have for this one. Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like. Helps me greatly. This is J-Wax, signing off.